Hey everybody, good evening and happy Tuesday. Welcome. Hope that you're doing well tonight. Hello. What's up, lady? What's up, Jedi? How are we? So good to see ya tonight. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Man, it feels like it's been forever since I've seen y'all. Happy Holy Week to you, Smith. I will have to tell you about PAX a little bit. Oh my gosh.
Sir.
Amy, thank you for the resub. Hello to you. Hey, Yarn, what's up? Welcome in. Bless. Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about it while we're just kind of waiting for a minute. So everybody, I just got back from PAX East up in Boston. I actually won a raffle from Blitz, and it was insane because I was like, what in the world? I had no intention of going to PAX, but then I did, I got a 4-day ticket, and then I headed up to Boston. So I flew up there on Thursday morning, 6 a.m., and then I got back. I was supposed to get back Saturday night, but ended up getting delayed to Sunday, which was fine. I was just exhausted. I've kind of got the conference crud right now. It's not bad. I'm not like running a fever or anything, but I've just got like congestion and all that stuff. It's just travel gunk. That's what it is. So, but it was good luck. It was. That's exactly right, Amy. It was cool luck. I had a great time up there. Went to several panels while I was there. Yeah, I went to the Final Fantasy 16 panel. Yeah, I went to the Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail panel, and those were all great. But I went to a few educational panels, which was really awesome. I got to know the people over at Geek Therapeutics who write the Psychology of series, so Psychology of Final Fantasy, Psychology of The Witcher, Elden Ring, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Jedi, yeah. The Q&A in the FF16 stuff, that was really cool, and I was like, oh my god, I know her. It was awesome. So well done there. That was so cool. I was like, oh my god, I told everybody I was with, I was like, you guys, she's in my chat every Tuesday and Thursday. We know her. We're so proud. It was really great. But y'all, I got to hang out with basically a bunch of the people that I met at the 16 event back in June. And so Blitz was there, Legions was there. We got to hang out a really good bit. John Reeves was there. We saw him. Also, 8-Bit D, got to hang out with her a lot, as well as Shoop and Droogle, Drunken Moogle. You may know him. Got to see just a ton of folks, and we had so much fun. Got to see Phil and Aaliyah in their cosplays. That was awesome. I'll tell you a few things that were pretty cool. Blitz, I got to hang out with Blitz all. Yes, I met Data Wizard very briefly. Yeah. He came up and talked to me briefly, and then I got pulled away. Yeah, it was great to meet Data Wizard. There's a guy named Meshark or something like that. Got to meet Meshark. He stopped me. There were several times. It was really weird where I'm walking around and people would be like, hey, you're the professor. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And people were just really excited to see me. And I was like, that's insane because I'm an idiot. But yeah, excuse me. It was fun. It was fun though. We had a really good time. Yeah. You met through a home convention staff. Oh, Data's great. Data's great people. So, it was really nice to meet him. I met some researchers, including a few PhDs in psychology and may have some cool stuff, collabs coming soon. Also, I'm doing my best to get my friend 8BitD over on the stream as well at some point. I think we're gonna do some cool stuff soon. She and I are gonna have some cool conversations. Phil and Aaliyah are in, they are not done with Rebirth yet either. And so we just like hung around each other. We were like, we're safe from spoilers if we stay together, everybody. So Phil, Aaliyah, and I, we had a great conversation. We probably talked for about an hour on the convention floor just about Rebirth theories from chapter 4 on. And we were like, okay, so maybe this is happening, this over here. And I think that Phil and Aaliyah and I are going to have a post-Rebirth collab as well. So look forward to that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, their reactions. Hey, Jeffrey, you're on chapter 7. I'm in chapter 7 too. Oh, thank you, Wise Tribe. Yeah, it was a great time. But for your purposes, let me tell you something. This was really, really, really cool. People came up to me throughout the weekend, people that I knew, people that I didn't know, people that were pretty popular streamers, people that were have been doing this for a lot longer than me. They came up to me, and every one of them said the same thing. And they said, what you and your community are doing is one of the most unique things in the gaming space. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. And every time I said, listen, I am one part of the equation. It's not just me. It is my chat. It's the community. It's the Discord. Every one of us, we are in this, and we do some really, really fun conversations. And they're like, yeah, we know. And just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And so you have a legacy out there. The conversations that you have. And it's really, really cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy Peasant. Somebody recently told me that he did something on Kabbalah and the Sephiroth. I would be really interested in that. I would love to do that. Hey, what's up, Breen? Breenupples. I'm gonna call you Breen, okay? But hey, I'm so glad that you followed. Oh, you heard about me during PAX East? Man, that's so awesome. I'm so glad. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have some great conversations as I get through Rebirth. For our purposes, though, there's a few things that I want to let you know, just schedule-wise. We're gonna get through Final Fantasy 15, continuing with the class stuff, and we should have some extra time in April. And during April, this is what I'd like to do, everybody. And you tell me if you think this is a good idea or not. We're definitely going to have to do, number one, the Final Fantasy 16 DLC with Leviathan. Okay, we're going to have to do that together. We did the first DLC together, and that was super fun. And yeah, I've got a little bit of a cold, but I'm fine. I'm fine. I've got my tea right here, Sid's tea right here, and feeling good. I just took some Mucinex, and we're good. We're good, okay? So, thank you for asking. But we're going to do the Final Fantasy 16 second final DLC, and then we're going to have maybe a conversation with some other creators about that. The second thing that we're going to do is I'm considering doing the Final Fantasy 14/16 collab. And I'm really interested in doing that. I don't stream Final Fantasy 14, but I love it. I've been playing it since day one on the PS3. So I love that. We're going to do some of that. Then I am going to do something that I haven't done. I'm continuing with my New Game Chronicles. Those are coming out slowly. I'm going to start doing multiple chapters of that because I'm beginning to see like chapter 3 and maybe chapter 5. I can hook those up with the chapters that follow. So the next episode is going to be chapters 3 and 4. Then we're going to do chapters 5 and 6. And then 7. But eventually, I am going to live stream chapter 12. Now, the reason I'm doing chapter 12 is because, and this is, if you don't want any spoiler for chapter 12, I don't think this is a spoiler, it's in the original game. But I specifically asked a friend of mine what chapter was this. And so if you don't want to know anything, just pause for a second, come back in about 30 seconds. But in chapter 12, that is where apparently the date is. And so I want to live stream the date. And the reason I want to do that is I just want to have the community be a part of, is ProfNoctis canon Clarith or Clody? I think that'll be really fun. Because we'll test the way that I played the game. We'll see. Or maybe somebody else. Excuse me. So trying to do that, I think that'll be a really fun chapter to do. And then, everybody, I am going to stream the ending of Rebirth as well. So when I get there, I don't know when that's going to be. Everything's really slow right now. But I would love to stream the ending with you all, and we'll get the live reactions and stuff. Because my understanding, I don't know for sure. Watch me end up with red. That'd be so funny. My understanding is the last couple of chapters in the game are very linear. And so there's not a lot of chance for me to go full open world nonsense, which takes me forever. So when I get to those points, just stay tuned. I will make you aware. We'll do a big finale stream for Rebirth. And that won't take the place for our lecture play when we eventually do that. But I'd love for y'all to be a part of that, and that'd be a lot of fun. So lots of cool content coming up. And we are we are getting ready for the summer of streaming, everybody. It's when I have time again. And so we're going to come up with all kinds of cool content for the summer. In fact, I've got something I'm super excited about, including some collabs with some real life buddies of mine. If you've been part of the stream for a bit, we're bringing back Stranger of Paradise. We're gonna finally finish that game with my buddy Evan /Whiskers, friend of the show. So we're gonna do that. That'll be a lot of fun. Maybe even get good old Krang in here too. We'll see. Okay, everybody. Well, I think that we're good to go. Shall we begin with Final Fantasy 15? Yeah, I feel like it's a big info dump tonight, right? It's a big, news night. But I think it's going to be good stuff, everybody. I'm going to pull up something really fast for us. Because tonight's lecture is really special. I think you're going to really get a lot out of it. Yeah, there we go. That's what we need right there. Ah, perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, and we'll come back to that later. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. Will I be live Thursday this week? That's a great question. Yes, it's going to be later. And thank you so much for saying that, Wise Tribe. Thank you. So it's Holy Week in the Christian tradition this week. And because of that, I have events over on campus. We're going to be doing kind of a Last Supper Maundy Thursday sort of experience. And so I'm going to be doing that earlier in the evening, but hopefully I'll be streaming by 8:30 or 9. Okay, we're just going to be doing chapters 11 and 12, and those are pretty short. But just be aware, I am going to be streaming late on Thursday, but I'll put that in the Discord as well. With that, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Thank you for being patient. Tonight, we are picking up where we left off after a heartbreaking chapter 9, where we lost our dear loved one, Luna. And we finally discovered that maybe Arden isn't a very good guy. We are going to, we're moving forward. So tonight's stream is about chapter 10. And in chapter 10, it's very Ignis focused. But this chapter is a chapter where the boys' brotherly bond breaks down. Try saying that several times fast. That's brutal. She may be at a meeting. I know that she has meetings on Tuesday nights at around 6, and sometimes they run over. So anyway, yeah, tag her and get her in here. She'll love this. Hey, Zora, what's up? Yozora Sora? I like saying that name. But tonight, we're talking about the boys' brotherly bonds and how they are broken down, and we are going to build them back up. So tonight, tonight's all about that. Some of you may or may not know, not only am I a professor, but I am also a campus chaplain, meaning I work in grief care, I work in with campus ministries and religious organizations on campus. I work with primarily the United Methodist student groups. I also work with the Baptists. I work with Catholics. I work with Jews and Muslims. I work all over the campus in chaplain work. And because of that, I do have to delve a little bit into mental health. Now, let me be very clear. I am not a therapist, but I would call myself mental health adjacent. I may be the first, the first touch or response for somebody in need before I refer them to a specialist. And so with that, hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. But because of that, I do study a lot of psychology. I study a lot of therapy methods and conversations, counseling, and all that kind of stuff. So tonight I'm going to incorporate some of that because this is all about relationship dynamics. In my class, I talk about when roommate relationships break down, and they always do, right? So tonight we're going to have some tips and tricks for doing that. You've researched my dossier? Nice. Nice. So you know me. You know about all of my ins and outs. Good. So let's go ahead and begin, and we'll get to it, shall we? And let's mosey. It is a Renaissance man position, for real. So you know that I started out in exclusively ministry. That's like a ProfNoctis origin story, and I fell into campus life, student life, and chaplaincy, and faculty, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a cool journey. I like it. I'm the kind of person that needs to jump around a lot, though, just to keep my life interesting. Anybody else like that? You can't sit still too long? You just get bored with mundane jobs every day? That's me. All right, this is one of the saddest chapters. It's just heartbreaking because I told my class the days of freewheeling and dealing with our boys is over. Those days are over. You're a jumper? I am a jumper. The scourge of the stars. Yeah, I for real am. Oh, what do you cosplay, Bree? Oh boy. Excuse me.
So, we're gonna roll through Tenebrae.
Not before visiting the royal tomb at Cartanica.
You're sure you're up to that?
Oh, Bree, that's cool.
The wounds have mended. Eyesight's a matter of time.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What?
We're not stopping in Tenebrae. You need to grow up and get over it.
I am over it.
I'm here, aren't I? Maybe when you're not too busy moping, you can look around and give a shit about someone worse off than you.
Let go of me.
How's that ring fit you? You rather carry it around than wear it? She gave her life so you could do your duty, not so you could sit around feeling sorry for yourself.
You don't think I know that?
You don't! Ignis took one for you too. And for what?
Enough, Gladio.
You think you're a king, but you're a coward.
Shut up! Don't do this!
I get it, all right? I get it! Then get a grip. Pull your head out of your ass already.
Knocked!
Leave him.
Roam around the train. So folks, we are in a tonally different sort of world here. The guys are at odds with one another. They are fighting. They are not the happy-go-lucky group that they have been. Ignis is blind.
The tomb is just a station away. You think we'll be okay? All of us?
So their concern is for Ignis. At this point, is he going to be able to go on with them?
Those men in black are spooking me out.
Don't talk about others.
I love that. Hey, what's up, lady? So they go through the stages of grief a good deal here. But in addition to that, here we have some exposition. So we read the newspapers. It says the Oracle Lady Lunafreya of Tenebrae lost her life when her summoning of the Hydrian went terribly awry. Lady Lunafreya was swept under the Altician waves alongside her fiancé, Crown Prince Noctis of Lucis. Despite falling unconscious for several days, the prince made a miraculous recovery and is currently being treated. There's an iteration of this game in the development room floor where this area out here is traversable. Some glitches were able to go out and explore that open world out there. And in original visions for the game, this would have been another open world with the regalia. That would have been really cool. They probably would have needed another year in development time to have another fully open world. Oh, it's so dark.
I saw the way you were looking at her.
I wasn't looking at anyone.
Oh gosh. Drama. The 15 glitches are fascinating, yeah, aren't they? Dining car here. Sounds like something Sephiroth could fix.
High Commander Fleury has been deemed accountable for Alticia's tragedy and sentenced to execution.
Now, that's interesting. Ravis has been sentenced to death.
Lord Ravis Nox Fleury was promoted to the Imperial Army's top post amid the turmoil of the failed peace talks. The High Commander's primary responsibility was restoring stability to Lucis. Yet his campaign against the Hydrian ended in disaster, incurring monumental losses for the Empire and collateral damage to the area.
Yuzora, I do too, actually. I was explaining to my class earlier today that after Chapter 8,
Still no sign of
I
Lady
really
Freya
love
anywhere.
that they decided to
It's not
focus on the
looking
story.
good. I wouldn't give to see her again.
I think that they have perfected that a little bit better in Rebirth, to be honest. Where you have open world and then a little bit more linear storytelling, and you can keep moving the story as you go on. I think it's a really good advancement for them.
In the wake of the Tide Mother's wrath, the government of Accordo has declared a state of national emergency.
On behalf of the nation, I would like to express our relief that King Noctis has survived. The towering waves that swept over Altisha left great destruction in their wake. It will take time to rebuild our lives. That said, the damage done to our fair capital would have been far more severe were it not for the aid of the King and the Oracle.
First Secretary Claustra also pledged the government would continue its search for Lady Luna Freya, whose current whereabouts remain unknown.
Actually, it's my first time.
It's gorgeous. I have no doubt you'll love it there.
Again, you can kind of see the remnants of that open world. You've got little bases out there as well as little structures, all that stuff. Again, I don't mind that we didn't get that, but I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed. Okay.
Want to head to the dining car?
So you can feast your eyes on that other girl.
Okay, they're
Give me a
definitely,
break. I'm just hungry.
they're doing great.
One step closer to finding the next tomb.
Now, this place is called Cartanica. I love the music here. It's somber. It's kind of chilling in some ways. But it just kind of is melancholy. And I don't know why, you guys. Maybe it's because I like Lent and just sadness, but I just love a good melancholy thing. Yeah, I think that the canceled Luna episode would have used a bunch of these assets.
Oh, guess I better turn around.
What's wrong?
I came to the Fedina Castino thinking I'd pay my respects at the Royal Tomb. Little did I know they put the place off limits on account of some accident.
So you're saying there's no way inside that Faustino Menudo or whatever?
Menudo.
Fedina Castino. Where there's a will, there's a way, I suppose, but I wouldn't take my chances if I were you.
So obviously that's where we're going. Or whatever. I freaking love Noctis.
If you boys are heading into the mine, you best go prepared.
Okay, let's look at some things. Do we have money? No, we do not have money. We need to sell some things first. How about some treasures? Yeah, let's just sell it all so we can buy it all. Ooh, big money, no whammy here. Look at that. Boom, boom. Oh my gosh. We are so rich, you guys. We are so rich. We're living like royalty, which is good because we are that. Mandrake flower? I don't need it. Just give me the money. I just want to know where the gold's at. Yeah, Menudo confirmed. Menudo exists in this universe. Oh, Graulian Medal of Distinction? Who needs that, you know? Now, let's buy some goods. Oh, this guy's got a hack and cough. He must have gone to PAX like me. Let's see here. Thunderbolt. That's weak. 161. I will buy that for old Iggy. But why? You know? Maybe. Just to be good to him. He's still part of the team, right? Delta daggers. Fine. Ignis, you are being very expensive for me. A flame gun. That's what we like. And a shield? Do you want a shield, Gladio? You don't even have a shield. Well, you do now, buddy. What's your question? Is eye for an eye a fair thought process regarding Ignis, or does the end justify the means? That's an interesting question. Is eye for an eye a fair thought process regarding Ignis? Jeffrey, without spoilers, say more.
Come back again.
I can't exactly tell if you're asking that in a serious manner or in a joking manner, so just explain for me, please. Get that. We got the Genji. Oh, Tempest. Oh, he doesn't have anything else. Okay, got it. Serious manner. Okay, explain it a little bit more then. Kind of neat how there's a character in this game with the same name as me. Interesting how that happens. Interesting. Okay, and I feel pretty good about everything here. Maybe we should do some Ascension, because we don't do that nearly enough. Super Stalker. Yeah, let's point blank warp strike. Yeah, oh, we don't have enough money for that. Yeah, let's do that. Ultralight phasing. Heck yeah, let's go. Expera magic. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty good. Air dance. Yeah, we can't air dance. But we can death drop. We're just like super powering Noctis. That's what we're about here. Final boy dandicy. Isn't that the truth? All right, everybody, let's stop for a second for our first lecture of tonight, shall we? For this first lecture, I'm going to pull up something for us. So give me just one quick second as I pull this up. Oh, not that. That's not what I want. That's the chat. Oh, none of that is correct. So let's try this. Oh, it's like Inception here. All of the things. Oh yeah, maybe that's it. Yep, that's it. Right there. This is what I wanted. Right here. This is professional Noctis at his best here. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to fix some things for us. So you see, friends, I'm working on a widescreen monitor right now, and sometimes it is so crazy. Absolutely insane. So let's actually do it this way. I'm going to go with... this is what I was looking for. Got it. Thanks, sir. There it is. Bam! And we've done it. Crap, that was the worst thing that I could have done. Okay, let's try something else. That was a problem for me. This is a professional Noctis moment, isn't it? This feels like a professional Noctis moment. Yeah, there it is. I've done it, everybody. I've done it. Look at that. We did it. Okay, so let's talk about this triangle really fast, folks. Okay, first try. Yeah, we did it. Okay, so this is a pyramid from a book called The Anatomy of Peace, and I want to go through it with us really, really quickly. Okay. So I actually use this in my classes. Let me just kind of pretty it up here for a second. And actually, we'll start at the top and we'll just bring it down. How about we do that? So you've already seen it, so that would have been a really cool reveal, but that's not what we're doing tonight. So super pro. So let's talk about this. The Anatomy of Peace is a book put out by a group called the Arbinger Institute several years ago. And it is a pretty long book, but there's one page of it that includes a chart that I really, really like. And I want to walk through this chart with you because it's interesting. This chapter follows this chart pretty darn well. The Arbinger Institute creates this framework as a way of helping us resolve conflict in some interesting ways. And we're going to see Ignis, Gladio, Prompto, and Noctis tackle their conflict in this chapter in this framework. And I want us to have a lens to think through this, okay? So the Arbinger Institute says that with this pyramid, you start at the top. Or most of the time, we start at the top, meaning that we seek to deal with things that are going wrong. And isn't that the truth, right? We seek to deal with things that go wrong, and we do that by correcting. We correct people when they go wrong. So think about a parent with a kid. Hey, don't do that. Boom, you're gonna do better. You're grounded, or you get your car taken away, your phone taken away, whatever it is, right? So you correct it. Now, most often, more often than not, the correction sort of thing doesn't work. And parent frameworks, because there's a power dynamic, it works pretty well, but there's a larger relationship at play. If I come up to you and say, hey, stop doing that, you're going to be like, shut up, and just move on with your life, right? So if we are in a situation where things are going wrong in a relationship, then it's important for us to do a little bit more than just correct someone. And the Arbinger Institute says that it's important to do the next step, or to first begin with teaching and communicating. Teaching and communicating, you know what I'm saying? So instead of saying, hey, stop doing that, we try to say, let's talk about why this is a better thing to do, or this is a better option here. I tell my students all the time, the classic example, I'm actually going to steal this from my brother. When he was a sophomore, junior in college, I think he was a sophomore, he just moved in with some new roommates, and they had a knack or a love for putting dishes in the sink and not doing anything with them. So they would just mount up, and not even rinse them off. They just mount up. And my brother, not really a neat freak, but he's neater than most people. He was like, you're going to clean your friggin' dishes. And they're like, we'll get to it. And so what he ended up doing was, he said, if these dishes aren't cleaned up by the end of the day, 5 o'clock, I'm getting rid of them. And they were like, we'll get it done. Well, 5 o'clock came and went. They did not get it done. Do you know what my brother did? He took all of these dishes their parents had gotten them, and took them to the dumpster, threw them in the dumpster, and shattered every one of them. This is my brother. He's a football coach, everybody. He's hardcore. So that was his way of correcting. Obviously, it led to a fight. Now, how could he have done this differently? He could have taught and communicated, hey, listen, I'm going to teach you about where I'm coming from here, and I'm going to help you kind of understand, like, this is not a thing that I do, right? Like, we want this place to be clean, so I'm teaching you that we are going to have a clean place, right? Now, in order to do that, they could have just been like, oh, whatever, to my brother. What's always important, the Arbinger Institute says, is that if you're going to teach and communicate to somebody, you should also be willing to listen and learn. Listen and learn to their side of things, right? Hey, tell me why you keep on leaving dishes in the sink. Hey, tell me why you keep saying things like this. Can you help me to understand this thing? Can you help me understand where you're coming from? I talk about this a lot in religious kind of circles when we're talking about interfaith dialogue. Whenever I'm talking to a group that's really adamant about getting their particular perspective out to campus, I always say to them, well, how often have you sat down with somebody of a different faith and listened to their perspective? And they're like, well, I don't want to listen and learn of their perspective. And I'm like, well, you know what? Like, maybe that's part of your problem. Because the goal here isn't to convince them that they're right or wrong, it's to make connection with them. And so to listen and learn to someone, listen and learn about their world, well, that's really important. Now, we talk about this with dishes, we talk about this with religious stuff, but it comes up all the time. Instead of going in like, sometimes I call people chainsaws looking for trees. You know, they're just always revved up, and they're like, who am I going to chop down today? Well, instead of being that chainsaw looking for a tree, our goal is to listen and learn from the other person instead of trying to cut them down, see where they're coming from. But in order to do that, if you just go up to somebody that you've got a problem with, and this is great Twitter etiquette as well, it's kind of weird to say, hey, where are you coming from on that if you don't know them? It's kind of like if I'm walking to class and somebody grabs me on the quad and they just ask me a question of like, hey, what is your opinion on abortion? It's like, holy crap, where did that come from? I don't even know who you are. Get out of my face. I'm late to class. Who would do that, you know? And so, like, there's not a great, that's not great if you haven't, and this is where the next thing comes in, if you haven't built a relationship with somebody. You gotta have a relationship with somebody. It's like the old maxim says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's important to build a relationship with somebody. That way you can assume positive intent. Hey, I know this person. They're good. They're right. They're cool. I'm building this relationship with this person. And it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult to hate or to villainize somebody that you've sat down and had lunch with. It's a lot harder to kind of see a us or them mentality, you know what I'm saying? So build the relationship. And I always say building the relationship and listening and learning is all about asking questions. You know, what are you into? What do you like? At PAX this past weekend, I was constantly asking people like, what games are you liking? What are you playing right now? Tell me what you're excited about. There were things that I was excited about, but that wasn't important. I was really interested in what other people were excited about. And that's a great way to build a relationship with other people. The Arbinger Institute says it doesn't stop there. In order to really build a relationship with someone, because it can be a great relationship, you also have to have some kind of buy-in from their people. Let me give you a great example of this. A great example would be every fall semester I teach a religious studies course, and I don't mean for it to be a deconstruction of the Bible or the religious faiths that people have come from. But it ends up kind of doing that because I'm going to tell stories about Moses, or I'm going to tell stories about the Quran, or I'm going to tell stories about all kinds of things and how those books were written, how those stories were written. And it kind of demystifies them in some ways. And in the classroom, we've got a great kind of camaraderie. And people are like, oh, this is so interesting. This is really helping me understand things. I've always had that question. It's all great. But then, friends, Thanksgiving comes around. And what happens at Thanksgiving? All of my students go back home. And they're sitting around a Thanksgiving table, and they're talking about their lives, and inevitably, Uncle Frank is going to have a question. And he's going to say to this sweet freshman in my class, so what are you learning about, what are you learning from that higher education university institution? It always happens. And so they're excitedly going to talk about my class, because my class, they play video games, they learn cool stuff. And as they're talking, Uncle Frank begins to sour. He's like, well, I've never heard that kind of thing before in my life, right? And so they go back home, and what happens is there's some cognitive dissonance with their family, their tribe of origin, right? And when they return to me, I always ask, so how was Thanksgiving? And they're like, it was fine. I'm like, so how was the dinner conversations? How did anybody talk about this class? And they're like, I did. My family was like, yikes, like, what are they teaching you? And it's like, yeah, I totally understand that, right? I'm not paid to have a relationship with Uncle Frank, but if I really wanted to help this whole thing, what would I do? I would build the relationship with others who have influence. Let me give you another example. Y'all want another example? Y'all are getting a key piece of my, like, real lecture. Several years ago, y'all remember when Senator John McCain from Arizona ran for president? He was running against Barack Obama. And when he ran against him, he was doing a town hall meeting. And in the town hall meeting, you can actually look this up on YouTube. I really should pull it up sometime and show it to my class. But in the town hall meeting, a woman is asking a question. And she said, it's really less of a question, more of a statement. She said, you just have to win, because if Obama wins, and she began to go into all of the things that she had heard about Barack Obama. Well, he is this, and he is that, and he just throwing out all these things that were just hearsay, untrue, all that kind of stuff. You can imagine the kind of stuff. And John McCain stopped her, to his credit. He said, stop, take the microphone away from her. I'm not going to let you talk about him like that. And he said something to the extent of, President Obama and I disagree fiercely on a lot of policies, but he's a good man, and I'm not going to let you talk about him like that. Now, imagine what that did for the constituents of Barack Obama, to other Democrats and all that kind of stuff, right? I think that is a really interesting thing. John McCain was able to, in a lot of ways, extend an arm, a handshake across the aisle, to the point that when he died at his funeral, you probably remember that. Who was there but President Obama, former President Bush, President Biden? All of them were there. And in fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that President Biden spoke at that funeral, a man who was kind of an opponent. And Biden said, Senator McCain was my friend. That's a powerful thing. And I think that we see in politics in a lot of ways, building relationship with those who have influence allows you to build a relationship with a person so that you can listen and learn, teach and communicate, and maybe have a conversation of correcting, right? I think that's really, really cool. So, long story short, it turns out, and this is a dated reference, but it turns out that the Spice Girls were right. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends, right? So, we just turned into a Spice Girls stream, everybody. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. I hate it when they're right, but they're right here. Which ultimately leads us to the final part of this brief lecture. They say that in order to build relationships with others who have influence, that are on different party lines or different groups or tribes or families or whatever, it's this. You have to get out of the box. And what do we mean? We mean that we put people in boxes, in labels, Republican or Democrat, Christian or Muslim, us or them, white or black, any of these things. Not that these labels are unimportant, but that they aren't the ultimate defining factor of a person. What they say is that you have to get out of the box. Instead of us or them, we have to have an us for them mindset. We're working for peace with the other person. And ultimately, in order to do that, you have to obtain a heart at peace, everybody. Obtain a heart at peace. And what does that mean? It means that when you are alone in your shower or driving on a long stretch of highway, you aren't having intense conversations with yourself about the person. This happens to me all the time. Maybe you can relate. But sometimes if I'm really, really ticked off at somebody, I'm going to have a conversation with myself out loud in the shower. And it's like, they're going to say this, and then I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say this, and then I'm going to really nail them with this. Well, guess what, everybody? That's a heart at war with that person. And they're not even in it. They're living rent-free in my life, and unfortunately in my shower as well. That's a key signifier that my heart is not at peace. Make sense, everybody? Obtain a heart at peace and get out of the box. Instead of us or them, us for them. Build relationships with others who have influence. Then you're able to build the relationship with the person, and then you're able to ask questions, listen and learn about their lives, and ultimately you're able to teach and communicate your side of things. And in that reciprocal relationship, you're then able to correct things that may be going wrong, or at least address those things. So what this framework does is it instead of dealing with things that are going wrong, we help things go right. Make sense? Okay, so that is a great preface for what we're talking about tonight, isn't it? You may be like, what in the world are we doing on this stream? Well, the good news is that helps us understand and see in a better way what's happening throughout this entire stream. And I think it's a really, really cool thing. So, I want you to think about those different frameworks as we go through this. You lose your own shower arguments. Listen, relatable, okay? All right, I'm glad you like the Spice Girls reference. Not everybody likes that. What if the other person refuses to meet you halfway? Well, then ultimately, here's what I would say. It's not about changing the person's mind, but it's about building the relationship. So even if there's still disagreement between you, there's peace between you. Again, it's not about getting them on your side. It's about making sure that you've done everything possible to make sure that you're living at peace with the other person. The goal is not to be right. The goal is to be at peace with them. Hopefully, because the relationship is good, they're going to listen and learn, and they're going to maybe tweak some things so that they're not agitating in the same way, right? We're not asking people to give up their convictions, but we are asking people to maybe think seriously about the way that they interact with others.
There's an elevator that should take us straight down to the mine. Wonder if the tomb's inside. Those two went to grab a bite in that glorified dining car they call a restaurant.
Yeah, I gave up on that kind of discourse years ago. And ultimately, like, there's things. I'm of the mindset of, like, in essentials, I'm gonna have unity. You know, in non-essentials, things that are like, okay, your opinion, my opinion, all that kind of stuff, we're gonna have a lot of freedom and liberty in that. But in all things, there's going to be love. There's going to be harmony. And that's my commitment for people. Even if somebody votes a different way than I do or believes something differently from me, it's going to be about, I am for this person even if I'm not for the thing that they are for. Does that make sense? I can be for somebody even if I disagree with them. And ultimately, that leads to an inner peace that isn't necessarily built on results or getting somebody to align with my worldview. It's a paradigm shift in today's world. Yeah. I agree with the framework for most of this. However, you talked about mental health and first line of contact. So you take Dr. Marsha Blackburn. What happens when Uncle Frank doesn't respect you, which takes priority? Getting with Uncle Frank's friends or yourself and self-worth. Yeah, no, that's exactly right, Jeffrey. There are times and there are some moments when things are irreconcilable. And so if there are things that are, if there's an irreconciliation and there is no mutual peace here, well, that's going to be something where I'm like, you know what, like, this is a parting of ways for us. Like, we are going to set some boundaries in our relationship at that point. Now, for most of us, we're not dealing with world legislation and all that kind of stuff. And so, Wise Tribe, that's a great question. What if what they're for is hurting people? That's great. You've got to be able to, you may or may not be able to convince them that they're hurting people, okay? You can speak your mind and all that kind of stuff, but instead, you have to take that that sort of bolstering moment for yourself and say, I am going to counteract what they are doing. Okay? If they're creating spaces that are harmful for people, I'm going to create spaces that are helpful for people. Does that make sense? Because ultimately, you're just not going to be able, like, I 100% believe people can change. Totally. But I 100% also believe that people cannot change people. That sort of change has to be right in here. What would I consider that conflict? What do you mean there? An irreconcilable conflict? What kind of conflict would be that? I mean, I'll tell you one. This comes up all the time in a lot of campus life sort of stuff. So as a faculty member and as somebody that works in religious life, I seek to be a safe space for all people, particularly for our gay and lesbian and trans students. Okay, there are spaces on campus where that is not necessarily as safe, and that's not from the campus sort of thing, but it's from individual groups, right? And they may not be actively against, but they may not be as safe as other spaces. Instead of trying to change those groups, because those may be just irreconcilable differences, I'm going to create more spaces on campus that are open and are helpful rather than harmful. Does that make sense? And I'm going to work and advocate and build awareness and all that kind of stuff. That's one example in that. But there's tons of examples. It can be medical examples. It can be political examples, anything like that. I think that with all of us, and this kind of goes back to our Final Fantasy 16 just war theory discussion, there are some things where we are compelled to act. So there's that. So even though there are objectives, so even though their objectives are opposing, they're not in conflict. It's a conflict simply because there's not an alignment, I guess. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that we can't have relationship. There's just boundaries and limits to how much we're able to collaborate, if that makes sense. Now, again, I work on a college campus. We're not waging World War III, okay? We're dealing with student life. We're dealing with student emotions and stuff like that. So it's all contextual. If I was dealing with people that had like the nuclear codes, well, that's a very different conversation, isn't it? But for most of us, we're talking about very relational components. You know, Uncle Frank, how do we deal with that? How do we deal with a family member that is like, you know, really a friction causer? How do we isolate and mitigate that behavior so that it doesn't do bigger damage? Does that make sense? Okay, so all that said, we've got a great case study tonight in Noctis and the Boys. So let's go through this.
Ready to set out?
All right, chat, what do you want to do? What do you want to say? No, I thank you for that. I love those kind of questions. I love them in class. I love them on the stream as well. So, Ignis says, ready to set out? Shall we take Ignis along or shall we leave Ignis behind? It's all the same, but what do you want to say to him, chat? Take him along or leave him behind? I leave it to you, friends. Take. All right, I see it. We're going to take him along because he's our friendo.
I'll manage somehow.
Oh, it's a unanimous take. Have you ever done the other? He's just like, don't worry about me. He's our boy. He is. We love Sweet Ignis. Y'all, discussions like this, that's what makes this chat special. I absolutely love it. So thank you for your participation in that. I know that it would be like self-sabotage for a lot of streamers to do this kind of thing and to have these discussions,
well,
but I'm so glad
we
that
made
we're
it to the
able
quarry.
So thank you.
But our destination likely lies deeper inside.
Feeling a little out of my element.
We're a foreign species in this environment.
Oh yeah, I'm
Well,
bouncing
we
my
don't
leg.
end up prey.
Right. Good tip.
Ignis walks at a slower pace due to his eye injury. Oopsies.
Footing's bad. Watch your step.
As best I can.
Jeffrey,
Go at your own pace.
we're gonna assume some
wait.
positive intent somewhere in there. Come on, Iggy. Something about this dungeon be— oh, Ignis, he almost
Don't
fell off a
push
cliff.
yourself, Ignis.
Oh, Iggy. It makes it so much worse because it's slippery for him. I feel so bad for him.
Is it too much to ask the royal procession sticks together?
Too much to ask you to shut it?
Pay careful attention to these boys and their kind of banter with each other here. And if you notice how Gladio, Noctis, Prompto, or Ignis are, if you notice how they're breaking that pyramid that I showed you earlier, go ahead and mention it throughout this chapter. Yeah, there is a slight time jump, yes. It's like several weeks later, it says. Hey, Gladio, you can join the group, buddy? Our buddy Ignis needs some help. Okay, let's come down here. It just feels right. Oh, so Jeffrey, yeah, should someone be blinded the same way as a way to pay retribution, or does the ending of the game and DLC resolve it? So it depends on your perspective. Does the end justify the means? Now, we won't talk about the DLC till after Chapter 13, but there's a lot of stuff in this game about fighting fate and what is necessary for Noctis to ascend. And we're going to talk about that in later chapters. So hold on to that question for now, Jeffrey. The control panel is in decent condition, but the power supply...
I've got a feeling this is the switch that activates that big hunk of junk.
Doesn't look like anyone's tried to use it, though.
Big hunk of junk. So now, let's come down here, boys. Oh, don't run, everybody. Yeah, Smith, it's so true.
The tomb must be down below.
Whoa, careful, Ignis.
Right.
Holding on to Sporty Spice, as we do. Backup generators need a key.
They parked here?
Huh. Wish we could write him a ticket.
Huh. The DLC is your canon? Oh, man. It's good.
Nothing but a giant roadblock.
Ironic for a vehicle.
If we get its motor running, perhaps we can move it out of the way.
How about we flip the switch?
Certainly wouldn't hurt to try.
Well, it's rusted, everybody. Yeah, we're just doing this chapter tonight, so... That's mainly for my class discussions. We're pacing it a little bit better. Yeah, that's the way that my students are too. They really dislike Gladio in this chapter. We had a great discussion though about Gladio's roles during the Gilgamesh DLC. And how he's a lot harder on Noctis as a result of his lessons from that first shield. Yeah.
Hey, what are you stopping for?
I'm not. Let's see here. In case of power failure, use backup generators. There's a key in the shed.
So where is this shed?
Well, if we knew where it was, we wouldn't be looking.
Which means it's gotta be somewhere we haven't looked yet.
I mean, even Prompto is getting a little snarky with people. It's like, if we knew where it was, we wouldn't be looking. And I also love how, with Prompto, he's very much like, Noctis is like, I'm not. And then Prompto says, let's focus on the task at hand. Hey, Kuya, how you doing, bud? Kuya, Blitz and I talked about you this weekend. We talked about how you keep us up to date in the sports world sometimes while we're streaming. We talked NFL and we talked Washington and Bama football. Anyway, just so you know, Kuya, your ears could have been burning this weekend. We were talking about you a lot. You and Zach Dixon. Hey Chrono, how you doing?
Hey, you should hang back.
Was I in the way?
No, you weren't. It's just...
Actually, so you have a frame of reference for this. I'm going to put the thing back up and just make it a lot smaller for us, okay? So as we're going through this chapter, I would love for you to be able to pay attention to this over in the... would you prefer it in the bottom right or the top right? Where would you prefer this? Just to have a frame of reference for us. Bottom right or top right? Bottom right. Okay, you got it. That's what I saw first. So that's where we're going. Oh, no. There we go. If you find it's annoying in the bottom, just let me know. We'll take care of it. But I'd love for that to be a frame of reference for us. Just kind of be watching that. Let me know if you see things. Haha, Jeffrey. Okay. Let's get to climbing.
Run ahead.
You notice that Gladio is correcting, right? I have my students go through, like, what could Gladio have said instead of, like, don't run ahead, right? What could he say instead that would be more teaching and communicating or listening and learning? We have a pretty fun discussion about all that.
Slow down.
Slow down. Yeah, he's all about correction. All about correction here. So, let's look at the old map. Make sure we're going in good places. Yeah, we're doing just fine. I don't think this is the right one. Yeah, we gotta get a key first. Just makes him more bullheaded, yeah. Yeah, he for sure does, right? There we go.
Gladio.
Gladio. Yeah, he definitely comes off as a lot. He comes off as pretty bad, right?
Gladio.
Come on, Gladio, get him. Come on, get a. Oh no, he's hurt my friends.
I'm sorry.
Just can the apologies.
Can the apologies? Wow. Okay, come on. Help your friends. Well, where's Prompto? Okay, Gladio's back. Woo, we're fighting on a tough battle here.
No, Gladio needs your help.
Not good.
Where are you, Gladio? Where is Gladio? Somebody help him. Oh my gosh. There he is. He's up on that ledge.
All in bullet time, baby.
Trying to get to you, buddy.
Don't risk your life.
Somehow Ignis found him. Oh, Jorn, I took students through the DISC personality test yesterday, as a matter of fact. Very familiar.
Buzz off.
That's true. If Noctis fails, so does Gladio. This is a challenging level 40 boss here. Mini boss.
All in bullet time, baby.
It's 4 different personality traits: dominant, influencing, steadfastness or steadiness, and compliance. It's a really interesting test. If you've never taken the DISC test, you could Google it. Ooh, we gotta hit him. Hard time here.
Prompto.
Come on, Prompto.
All in.
That's tough. I was not ready for this level of difficulty yet. Yikes. Come on. Keep warp striking. There we go. Man, that was ridiculous.
These tombs are always in the darkest places.
Glad you're taking this seriously.
Oh, that's... Ah, there it is. Yeah, these are for real growing pains, right? And also...
Don't run ahead.
Okay. They're also dealing with, you know, loss. I mean, Luna, Altisha, for that matter, it's been, for the most part, destroyed. Not to mention Claris. Oh no! Come on! They're angry. I mean, this is grief. This is uncertainty. They're upset about Ignis. I mean, these are boys trying to figure out their emotions right now, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Smith. Come on, Iggy.
Hey, Noct! Wait up!
I'm here. Y'all just like walk. This is great of environmental storytelling, I think.
I found it. Up there.
Why don't y'all wait here and I'll be right back. Yeah, exactly, Jedi. Yeah.
Here. I found the key.
Huh. Pretty irresponsible to leave it out in the open like that.
Where is the generator?
Didn't you read the sign, Iggy?
Not funny.
Prompto! Oh my gosh, what a guy. Let's do a little campy camp here. So this is sad camping.
I'm exhausted.
Y'all, this camping scene is out of control. And watch this. Gladio decides to sit far away from Noctis. Noctis won't even look at him. And then he doesn't even want to sit with him. This is... And all we have, because Ignis can't cook for us right now, all we've got is a chilled food tin. It's tragic. Awkward. And then this part, y'all.
Took more photos today. You want to see?
No. Not really.
Yeah, of course.
Yikes. Let's not keep the picture of Ignis. Noctis and Gladio far, far away from each other. That's a pretty dope picture, though. We are going to keep that one. Oh, there's an action shot. Oh. Yeah, Prompto's the one trying to build the relationship here. And everybody's just really shut off to it. Yeah, for sure.
We should get moving. You okay, Ignis?
I'm fine. Don't mind me.
Okay, we'll hop off this ledge, boys. Yeah, I mean, I think that he's trying to not choose sides. He's probably the guy that is, you know,
Yeah, so much for sticking together.
Oh, Gladio. Like, we'd probably be fine if I just went and did this and y'all just chilled at camp, but friends stick together, so. Ignis could be a listen and learn person. Once we get to the end of the chapter, we'll be able to talk about that a little bit more. Come on, guys. Okay, we're walking. I love the environmental storytelling here. I love the part. I love how they make you feel what's going on with the boys here. That's true. Prompto hasn't had his character development moment. So, yeah, Noctis' heart is not at peace. Gladio and Noctis' hearts are not at peace right now. And so they're taking it out on each other. Can we just walk up here? No.
No way to work the machine. That's in the way.
Then we take it out.
Look at that, dude.
Gladio.
Yeah, we were. And I think that's why this game hit so well for me.
Where is it? Right here.
How does it look?
She's wired and ready. Give it a go.
And don't blow it up.
Oh, thanks for the advice.
Did it work?
Yep. One more to go.
One more to go.
Seriously? Since when are there 2 of them?
Can it? Let's just get this thing moving so we can get on with our mission.
Can it? Okay. Y'all gonna come down? Okay, I'm just gonna walk. And we'll wait. Noctis may feel like an object, not a friend. That's a good point, too. That is a really good point. Yeah. That was dinner. Good one, lady. Excuse me. Come on, guys. Y'all come in. There he is. We're just letting Ignis go down the stairs by himself, boys? Really? Just follow the sound of my voice, buddy. Let's go. Since Prompto and Gladio left you, I would never leave you, Ignis. The warp strike sounds. Okay. I love Gladio too. I'm a big Gladio fan. Somebody in my class today brought up that Ignis and Gladio are kind of like older brothers, where Gladio's the tough love side and Ignis is the caretaker side. Oh, hey, Iggy.
We've got the power.
Might not have it for long, though. Hurry up and move the machine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, Racy, what's up?
Going it alone, huh?
Oh, Gladio. Time to die. Ignis, buddy. Okay. Okay. Come over here, buddy. Ignis. Oh, hey, Roxy, what's up? Come on this way, this way. Ignis, follow the sound of my voice. Come here. Ignis. Ignis. Are you still stuck? Oh my god, we're leaving him. We're leaving him. We're leaving him. We're leaving him. It's over. It's done. Oh, maybe that's not where we need to go. Where's the control panel? Is Ignis at the control panel? Is that why he's stuck there? Ignis. Ignis. No. Oh, it's up here. Ignis is just getting himself.
Wait up!
Well, listen, guys. Hey, Michael, what's up? Hooray, the digging machine is done.
Did you hear that?
Sounds like we're clear.
Grand. Then let's move.
Grand. All right, everybody, a bunch of you just joined. If you're just joining in, we've been talking about conflict resolution tonight. We had a big lecture earlier in the night about conflict resolution. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner what we call the Pyramid of Change. This is Conflict Resolution 101. Most of us start at the top of the pyramid, but in order to get to a place where we can help things go right, we really have to do all the things at the bottom of it. We're watching it. These guys.
You sure you're ready for this? You got what it takes?
To do what?
To face your ancestors and convince them to lend you their strength. Got a long road ahead. Can you see this through? To the end?
So, Chad, I'm going to actually take over right here. But out of curiosity, what would you pick? Gladio asks, can you see this through to the end? Would you show resolve or show frustration? Simple controls for a massively complicated machine. Yeah. Show resolve. Yeah. Yeah. I think that most people would want to show resolve. However, I think that most people do select show resolve. However, I always show the frustration side because I feel like that's where Noctis is. We always want for Noctis to show resolve here, but at the end of the day, like, he just lost the love of his life, Luna. He's lost his kingdom. He's lost his dad. He feels responsible for Jared's death. He feels responsible for the death of Luna, for Gladio's dad's death. He's wondering who all is going to who all is going to be punished for Noctis's existence, right? So I'm going to say frustration, just because I think that it's a truer form of what, and that is absolutely, that's what Gladio is looking for, and that's what I would want to do. But we're going to do frustration here.
As if I have a choice. You think I like the idea of people sacrificing themselves for me, one after the other?
Enough. Forget it. I thought you'd accepted your duty. I thought wrong.
Here's what I like about that part, chat. It's not ideal. It's not a touchy, feel-good conversation, but it's one where Noctis is able to express what's happening in his own heart. He's like, how many people are going to sacrifice for me? And here he just says it out loud. What's interesting, a lot of people criticize the Noctis's motivation throughout this game, and for whatever reason, they tell the story of Noctis's full motivation in all of these optional dialogue choices, so it's possible to miss those things. All right, that's why I try to go back and I play through all of the different conversation selections in this. It's such a great conversation because he says, do you think that I like the idea of people sacrificing themselves for me? How many more are going to do that? And Gladio says, just forget it. Just forget it. And that's the extent, that's the chasm between these two. So building a relationship is really tough for them right now. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Good to go.
We did it! Together!
Favorite line from Prompto. We did it! Together! Yay! He's just trying, right? We did it!
This cave is huge!
The tomb's further in?
You want to wait here?
Alone. Here.
Not what I said.
See, just misunderstanding each other.
Oh man!
Thinking the worst
stinks
about each
around
other.
here. Don't slip and fall and whatever that is.
Ah, here we go.
Royal Tomb's gotta be around here somewhere. The question is, where?
It's right here. Yeah, that's true, Smith. That's also true. Gross. Come over here, boys. They're just taking the long way down. Oh, we got some boxes. That's fun.
What about over there? Looks pretty to me.
Pretty to me. Yeah, he was sheltered from duty by his father, yeah. But he was not a healthy communicator, yes. Yes. Yeah. Gladio's a shield of the king. I mean, his name means sword of a friend, and he's turning that sword on Noctis, you know?
What is this?
I hate eggs.
Do we really want to know what's back there? Is that its face?
What a Malvo.
What is it?
Something real bad.
Good arrow.
Whoa!
Ah,
Bust them up.
little Malboro sprout. Ooh, dodge. Ooh, no, bad times. Oh, yuck. Good place to hang out. Ah.
That thing's trapped. Get back! Gladio.
Come on, Gladio. Why would you name Sigma? That's good. It's that breath.
It's useless.
What do we do?
This might be a good time to panic.
No. There must be a way.
The Malboro has gone to berserk. You have to keep a distance. Everybody over here. He's a cool boss.
Noct, I have an idea. If I may...
What a throw, Ignis.
As I suspected.
It really worked!
Nice one. Now, we've a fighting chance.
Is it dead?
It is! And it's all thanks to Iggy.
Iggy, you saved us.
Seriously.
Whisking them just makes a mess. Better fry them.
Here we go. Whisking the eggs, get it?
I think we found it.
Just wish they found a better place to build it.
All right. Good one, Gladio. Yeah, he did. He actually listened, like literally listened to the conversation and learned how he could help. Yeah, that's good.
right. Let's haul ass.
Yeah, let's.
All right. Now, with the pyramid in mind, let's watch this
A moment.
part.
Is everything okay?
It bloody well isn't. And I won't suffer this pointless bickering in silence any longer. Let's be frank. My vision hasn't improved, and probably won't. Yet in spite of this, I would remain with you all. To the very end.
Sorry, but I object. War is a matter of life and death.
But we'll be there.
It's not about us looking out for him.
Uh-huh. Well, then he should be free to choose.
There's more to it than just what he wants.
I know full well. I won't ask you to slow down. If I cannot keep up, I will bow out.
What says His Majesty?
Noct, you are king. One cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward, always, accepting the consequences and never looking back. Gladio, Noct will take his rightful place, but only once he's ready.
Have it your way. We're still taking a big risk. We better all be ready.
Yeah, you can see how each one of them contributes to that pyramid, right? But ultimately, Ignis is the one that is listened and learned the entire time. I'm tired of this senseless bickering. And then he uses the opportunity, because he still is in good relationship with everybody, uses that moment to teach
You guys
and
mind
to
if we
communicate.
stop in Tenebrae?
Might as well hop off.
If it helps him move on.
Hey, Iggy. Hey, Prompto. Gladio, you want to have a moment?
Time to get our journey back on track. Next stop, Tenebrae.
Friends. That's a good picture. Prompto, take that picture. Prompto. Ugh. Look at these best boys. Being best friendos. Ugh. That's a beautiful picture. So, yeah, if it helps him move on. Wouldn't he also be building a deeper relationship with those who have influence? Yeah, absolutely he is. Yeah. He listens, Noctis listens to both Gladio and Prompto too, so Ignis is trying to bridge between them. Yeah, absolutely. So here's we close out tonight in chapter 10. I know this is a super short stream for us. We usually don't. We usually go a lot longer, but for the pacing of the class, this is kind of where we are. And so with chapter 10, this is all about conflict resolution. Now, from a biblical parallel from the Old Testament, let me zoom in for me real quick. With an Old Testament parallel, there's a time when David is on the run from Saul, and in those times, he feels alone. In fact, you get that from some of the Psalms that he writes. He feels like the world has abandoned him, that he's alone from his friends. He's taken away from Jonathan, his trusted friend. He's no longer with Michael, his wife, or his caretaker in some ways. He doesn't have a shield of a king. Yeah, that's just kind of where he is in this. And I think this is a really interesting parallel with that. I love how this game addresses the question of what happens when these four kind of indomitable friends begin to be fractured and split apart. And that's really what the back half of this game is about. What happens when friendships are broken down, what becomes of a king. And we know from our discussions in Sacral Kingship that without a prophet, without a shield, without a caretaker or an advisor, and finally without a trusted friend that you can really count on, a king is left vulnerable. And that's where Noctis is. He's vulnerable now. Vulnerable for his mission, vulnerable for not taking responsibility, and he's having to learn to listen to his friends and advisors again. Remember what Sid said when they left Cape Kaim? He said, "These aren't your bodyguards, they're your brothers. Trust in them always." And here, Noctis is not trusting in his brothers. And this is what that is what this chapter is about. A lot of people don't care for this chapter. A lot of people don't care for any of the chapters after 9. But I love them. I love every one of them because it's a long telling of that kind of relational breakdown dynamic. So to me, it's masterclass storytelling. So there's that. Yeah, I think it's an important chapter too. When they're all at odds, trust is difficult to come by. Yeah, he's not treating Noctis like a brother either. Yeah, they're both in grief and in frustration. Gladio is choosing to grieve through doubling down on his responsibility and duty. Noctis is choosing to deal with grief by shirking, not really shirking, but delaying responsibility. Notice what Gladio said to him at the beginning of the chapter. Would you rather hold on to the ring than wear it? The ring represents responsibility for him. Remember how he took responsibility for Jared's death? He's no longer doing that. He's just trying to avoid that responsibility, just trying to get through these emotions of grief and loss. And it's understandable. We all know people, and maybe we ourselves have been doing that at different points in our lives. But how am I going to handle chapter 13? I'm going to do it twice. Once with the added stuff, and then once with the Noctis stuff. So that's going to be how I do it. Yeah. Chapter 13 is amazing. I'm looking forward to that. Chapter 13 is the reason that I'm a doctor. Real talk. Yeah. Yeah. So the interpretation of the ring. Yeah. I mean that's what the ring is. Throughout history, right? Kings would have a signet ring and put wax on envelopes or on contracts or whatever it is, and then they would stamp the ink or the wax with that ring, and it would emblazon their particular signet or their symbol. And so the power of the king would always be in the stamp of the ring. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it worked. That's what they would do. And so it's really interesting that the ring of the Lucii embodies, it is the legitimization of kingship, but it's also the doling out of the responsibility and the authority of the king. This is how he delivers order to chaos through the ring. And he's very hesitant to put it on right now. So let's go. Good stuff, chat. Yeah, all good stuff. It's tense and uncomfortable, but absolutely real and revealing. Yeah, I'm blowing kisses, chapter 13 too. Yeah, Jedi, thank you so much for saying that. You know, that's anybody that's experienced death or loss of a loved one kind of knows and gets what Noctis is going through. And so in that moment of grief, imagine if you had literally the fate of the world on your shoulders. Like, how long do you wait? And how long do people give you to wait before you kind of get back to it? That's the challenge, right? I think they handle that with Noctis really, really well. So, yeah. Yeah. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, realistically, a king can't blink. You remember what Ignis said. Now we'll find out during his DLC that is when, that phrase, "A king does not lead by standing still," that whole line, that is something that Regis tells to Ignis when he is kind of commissioned with taking care of Noctis. So anyway, one thing about this stream is, I not only want you to have this knowledge of biblical stories or this game or the literary themes. I want you to integrate it into your own life. Hopefully tonight with the Anatomy of Peace stuff, there's some things that you could learn in this and maybe integrate into your own relationships and stuff. I know that it's helped me in countless conflicts that I've been in. And thank you for a great discussion with that tonight. Really, really great stuff. On Thursday night, remember we are going to be starting a little bit later than normal, probably about 8:30 or so. I'll keep you updated, but we're going to do chapters 11 and 12 on Thursday. They're short chapters, but we'll probably go to about 10. Then let's go ahead and finish this chapter up. We've got one more cutscene, and then we'll call it a night. Okay.
All set for boarding?
11 and 12 are great.
Yeah. Well, let's roll.
In
Two of my
that
favorite
case,
chapters.
hop aboard. We'll be leaving shortly.
We're here for you.
Yeah. Let us help you. And we're off!
Are we clear?
Crystal.
Hey, watch your step.
You're not pushing onward?
Not at his expense.
Fair enough.
Oh, Arden. I love that he hums the Chocobo theme. Just good stuff. Which lets us believe that he may be targeting the one of us that loves Chocobos the most, right? Kind of an interesting foreshadowing for next chapter. So, Ignis has already been sidelined to some degree. Gladio and Noctis have been divided. But how do you get rid of the trusted friend? And that is a question for next time, is it not? Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So everybody, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I do. Can you do one light spoiler for Chapter 11? How light spoilery is it? I'd say no, because Chapter 11 is about 15 minutes. Like, the whole thing is like a spoiler. So I would say no, for the sake of my class. No. We can talk about it on Thursday. Real quick. If you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, I do hope that you will go, then go ahead, and I'll, if it's very, very light, not talking about, like, the things that happen in it, but that we're on a train and that we'd fight some things. But yeah, we spent a good deal of time at the beginning of the stream talking about some of the Anatomy of Peace stuff. If you're interested in learning more about the Anatomy of Peace, and you're like, hey, that sounds like an interesting book, you may or may not like it. I think I've given you the best. There are nipples. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. If you're interested in learning more about that, then in the link on YouTube, you'll see I've got my Amazon affiliate link for how to purchase the Anatomy of Peace. You can purchase it. Again, I've given you probably what I would consider the best part of it, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there. Again, let me just say, as an Amazon affiliate, I do get a slight commission out of the things that you purchase off of my storefront. So if you haven't checked that out, then feel free to go and do that. And you can also purchase Final Fantasy 15 or PlayStation 4 or 5 through my Amazon storefront link as well, if that is something that you're interested in. So there's all that. I have to say those things contractually. So I do get a commission from that. Next, just a reminder of some of the things that we are going to be doing over the next month. We're continuing Final Fantasy 15 every Tuesday and Thursday, but get excited for the Final Fantasy 14/Final Fantasy 16 crossover at the beginning of April. We're going to have a special stream where I play through some of that, get the Torgal mount in Final Fantasy 14. Really excited about that. Then we've got the Final Fantasy 16 Leviathan DLC. We're going to play through that. Apparently it's 5+ chapters or 5+ hours long DLC. So get excited about that. That's going to be really fun. They say that it's really, really tough. At least from the 16 panel at PAX East, they say it's really, really tough. So we're going to play through that together, and maybe we'll first try it. It's going to be good. I have a prediction that it's all going to be about flood narratives and like Noah and the Ark, Gilgamesh, which means I really think that Gilgamesh is going to show up in this DLC, but we'll see. I think it's going to be cool. That's going to be happening. Will these be on Tuesday and Thursday streams? It depends on if we're still doing 15 at that point. I think that we'll be close to being done by the time the DLC comes out. The 14 stuff, we're still going to be going strong. That will be an extra stream. But there's that. Also, after we finish the Leviathan DLC, we are going to have a cross stream with my friend 8BitD. Really excited to be talking with her about Leviathan. She absolutely loves Leviathan. I'm excited to hear her stance on that chapter, or excuse me, on the DLC, and especially that character. She's got, excuse me, she's got a Leviathan tattoo on her arm and just really, really loves Leviathan. So I'm excited to talk to her a little bit about that. But then we have a couple of very special Rebirth streams coming up. There are 2 chapters that I'm going to stream, or a few things to stream. First of all, it's going to be the date night, so you're going to find out if, by my decisions that I've played offline in the game, whether I'm a Clody or a Clareth, what kind of shipper I am, or maybe I'm a Cled 13 or a Claret or a Cluffy, or who knows. I don't know, Cloud and I don't know who he ends up with in my playthrough, but we'll find out together, and that'll be really fun. Then we will be streaming the ending of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I said Cluffy, like I should have said Kloofy because it's Yuffie, but I pronounced it Cluffy. Oopsies. Yeah, they are on the verge of sounding, dangerous. Yeah. Claystrith, something like that. Who knows? But I'm gonna do those. And in the meantime, I've got a couple of other episodes of my Chronicles of Rebirth coming out as well that you'll be able to check out. If you haven't checked those out, those are over on my YouTube. I've got 2 episodes out, and we'll be good. So chapter 14, the discussion will be 3 hours at least. This is what I understand. So that's going to be a good long stream. Maybe it'll be an all-night stream. Who knows? We'll see. It'll be fun. For 16, man, have fun. Choose the fighting strategies that work best for you. Also, watch my lecture plays. They'll help you understand and appreciate the story a little bit more. So, especially from a deconstruction of religion standpoint, that was our whole theme in the Final Fantasy 16 lecture plays. Everybody, as always, it's so fun to be with you. Absolutely love you guys. I'm exhausted. I probably need to rest up because we are far from the end of all things with Holy Week and stuff. Hey, thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. Roxy, oh man, that is okay. I'm so glad that you hopped in. Your bestie has never played 15 and you're starting up a new game? Oh man. Okay, everybody, we'll see you in the Discord and on Twitter. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.